Record. And then today I'm doing one on this listing that just went live of Jody's. Obviously, I don't have my own listings. Most agents, they're completely fine if you ever want to advertise one of their listings. Just I recommend asking. But she had mentioned that this one, it just went live yesterday, and I thought it would be a good one to do. It's a really cute house. And it's honestly kind of hard for me to find listings to do ads on. But with the ads, so you do have to choose, basically before you get started, you need to think about where you want the ad to take them when they click on it. So every time I do one on a listing, I always create a landing page. So I'm going to get that set up first. It just kind of makes it easier. I don't like having to go back and forth a lot in Command. So I'm going to go into the consumer applet. And then this is where like your agent site, your agent website is housed. So if you ever want to do anything to it, it'll be in here. Any of these links you can automatically use as your landing page for your ad. So it kind of just depends what kind of ad you're running.
Okay.
Landing pages are separate ones that you can create. Let me hide this. So I'm just going to create a new page. You can do it on your agent site or as a landing page. The only difference is on your agent site, if they go to your default website, they can access the landing page from there. I don't want anybody to access my actual website. I just want a landing page for lead generation, basically. This one's completely separate, and it's not going to be able to take them anywhere else on my website. So I'm going to create page. I'm going to rename it. Address for this one is 417 Regal Court. And it is completely blank because I have to add in widgets over here. So these are all of your widget options. Every time I do a landing page for a listing ad, I kind of just use the same formula. I always do a branded header. And I just drag and drop, and then you can go in and edit them. But I do a listing. I always add in a lead form. It just kind of gives them an extra chance to contact you if they need to. And I always do a legal footer. Just depending on what kind of landing page you're creating, market snaps, you can do a local expert, you can do a video. It really just depends. And this can be something you add to your website. So it doesn't just have to be anything for Facebook ads. If you want to add like a video to your agent site, you can go about this way doing it. It's pretty easy. But now that my widgets are all in, I'm going to actually, customize them. So I'm going to hit configure widgets. It's saying that my header, lead form, and legal footer are already complete, but I'm still going to go in. Since I do these for the market center, I don't want it to be tailored to me. For my header text, I'm just going to use the address. So 417 Regal Court. I am going to get rid of my headshot and just do the Keller Williams logo. You, of course, would probably want your own information in there. I do not. Keller Williams-Fayetteville, the office phone number. Then I don't have a team logo. So I'm going to save and apply. And that is going to make those changes active. My next widget is the listing. So I'm going to hit browse listings. That's a ton to look through. So I always recommend going based off of the MLS number. I think it's just a little bit easier. If I pop in 417 Regal Court, it's going to pull a ton of listings. Even searching with the MLS number, it still pulls in a few, but I can see 417 Regal Court. That's the one that I want. So I'm going to select. And then it does pull in, this is the cool thing, it pulls in all of the images from the MLS. So I could change, I'm just going to save and apply. You get to choose what you want the default picture to be. I think I'm just going to leave it as the first one in the MLS. Yeah, we'll do that. And you'll see they do have the ability to scroll through all of the pictures. So it's really just that one initial picture that you have to choose, but you're not limiting it to only that picture, which is nice. I'm going to save and apply. Next is the lead form. So you can leave it as interested, let's talk. If you want to change it to let's schedule a showing, how can I help you? Anything like that. I'm just going to leave it as is. And then my legal footer is good to go. I just want to make sure it doesn't have any of my information in it. This all comes from your marketing profile. So I always suggest, filling that out first, because whatever you put in there, every time you try to build out something on your agent site, it's going to put all that information in here. It just saves you some steps. I'm going to save and apply. And now that all my widgets are configured, this is what it's going to look like. I am going to publish the page. It's going to tell you that it will make it visible to others. I'm going to say yes, because I need it to be a live link in order to use it for my ad. So now when I come into landing pages, you can see it's toggled on. I can actually click on it, and this is what they'll see when they follow through my ad. So that's kind of step one. Just depending on what kind of ad you want to run, you do I would plan out what you want as your landing page before. It's really not hard to create these. I'm pretty quick at it because I do a lot of ads, but really it's pretty user friendly. So now I'm going to come into campaigns, and I feel like this is the most difficult part. It might be easy for you guys. I'm just, coming up with the right words is kind of the hard part for me. I'm going to switch over to paid ads, and I'm just going to create campaign and just start this thing. So your two options, you have a social ad or a Google search ad. I don't know too many people who have played around with this. If you get really good at social ads and decide you want to play around with Google ads, go for it. I'm just going to stick to social ad. Campaign name, I'm just going to use the address. You do have to choose a goal. This really doesn't make that much of a difference, but I just kind of go with whatever makes sense. So for this one, it is a listing, so it would be attract buyers. Oh, no. So this one is advertise listing. That's going to make it so that it asks me to pull in the listing. And then I get all of the photos from that. You can run these on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I just stick to Facebook. I haven't heard too much about Twitter ads. I've heard, everybody sticks to Facebook ads. Really, that's what they come here for. Instagram is connected to Facebook. So if I've heard good things about Instagram ads too, but really Facebook ads are what we advertise and what everybody kind of chooses to use. I'm going to create campaign. And since I chose this as advertised listing, it's going to ask me to pull in a listing from the MLS. I need to switch it to all listings first, and then same thing, I'm going to search by MLS number. Just pull that listing in. So I'm going to select, fail to load listing image. Well, that's not good. Okay, I will roll with it and see kind of what happens with that. So over here on the right, actually, I'm going to go out and go back in. I don't know why the pictures aren't loading. Okay. So over here, you have your ad preview. So this is what it's going to look like. You can change between web feed and mobile if you want to see what it's going to look like in the different stages. Your main copy, it does bring over information from the MLS. If you want to use that, go ahead. Make sure obviously it ends at a complete sentence because you do have a character limit. I'm going to backspace because I do have some text ready. Oh, I'm just going to say fresh on the market, established neighborhood, natural light, and a screen and porch. This house is practically begging to be your home. Make this your happy place today. Really, all I did, I looked into the remarks and I took Jody's, basically her description, and I kind of took some highlights from it and put that into the ad. So whatever makes the house unique, that's kind of a good way to go about adding in the text if that's what you're doing. I always recommend never give away too much information. So really the entire goal of these ads is to get them to click learn more and capturing them as a lead. If you give away things like price, address, anything too specific about the location, they're just going to take it, they're going to Google it, and they're going to see it for themselves. So you're missing out on a lead. You kind of just want to give them, it's a little bit of a less is more approach and some things to kind of draw them in and make it so they want to click learn more and see more photos, more information about the house, but nothing that they can just take in Google and find it for themselves. Your headline is this text right here. So I am just going to say for so 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath home waiting for you. I'm going to capitalize it also. It's a little bit better. Okay. That's just kind of personal preference. Your description is only shown in some placements of the ad. So I never want to put anything in here that if they don't see it, it's going to take away. So you do have some suggestions. So like you could be coming home to this, you can shuffle through, schedule a private tour with me today, view photos and videos of this home. You could be coming home to this. I'm just going to say click. So something that if they do see it, it adds to it, but if they don't see it, it doesn't take away from that. I'm going to save ad text. And now, oh, it did pull in my pictures, odd. Hopefully this works. So I'm going to choose, I don't know why it is doing that. Let me see if I can save them from the matrix. Ideally, everything flows in from the MLS. So I should just be able to click this and hit preview and crop image. And then I can choose up to 5 images. I'm going to see if it'll let me upload them in. It's kind of a roundabout way, but hopefully this will work. Okay, so I'm just going to do it this way. So I'm going to choose 5 images. Go with this one. And then, especially since I talked about the screened porch in my text, I definitely want to add an image of that. Really, if I ever highlight anything, I like to choose pictures that kind of show that. So if you talk about awesome features in the kitchen, a great backyard, kind of anything like that, definitely put a picture of that. So let me drag in those images. And then you can resize them. So square, wide, vertical, full portrait. Definitely think about where you're doing the ad. So Facebook is pretty, you can pretty much use any size. When you do Instagram ads, you do have the option to do in-feed ads or stories. So you would definitely want to think about that when it comes to sizing. I usually just stick with wide because it looks good on pretty much everything. Okay, so it took a little bit longer than it normally does, but it really didn't take that much longer. But now my 5 images are uploaded. You can see that my ad is updating, so it'll rotate through the pictures. You can arrange them in a certain order if you want. Facebook is going to kind of be smart about it, and whatever image is causing the most people to click learn more, they're going to start putting that image the first one that they see. So I would say don't obsess over this too much. It's really not the main focus. So your logo, I always just have a copy saved to my computer. You can get them from KW Connect. You can get our main one, or you can download, and there are different colorways. And then you just need to choose if you want it on the left side or the right side. I'm going to go with right, and I am going to toggle that on. Okay, well, it didn't bring it in, so I'll toggle that off. I'm going to save ad media. So really that's the hard part, like coming up with the text, picking your pictures. That's really, I think, the most difficult part about running an ad. Everything beyond that is just your targeting and your budget. So I'm going to come in to configure my next step. So pages, you cannot run an ad on a personal profile. It has to be a business page. So I have mine all connected in my settings. So I'm just going to choose the business page. That has updated it with what our Facebook logo is, and our Facebook page is just Keller Williams-Fayetteville. So when you choose yours, you have, your little head and real estate with whatever your business profile or your business page name is. Your destination. So when they click learn more, this is where is going to take them. So you have 2 options here. Use Facebook lead generation form, or use the site or landing page. This is kind of, it's really important, honestly. It depends on your goal of the ad. So if your sole goal is to get leads, you're gonna wanna use the Facebook lead generation form. What that means is when they click learn more, Facebook is going to open up a little screen where they have to put in their name, their phone number, and their email, and then they can click through to your landing page. Whatever they put in there, that is what you capture as a lead. That is the only way to guarantee that if they go through to this landing page, you will capture them as a lead. They use the site or landing page. What this means, when they click learn more, it's going to take them directly to that landing page that I created. So really the only way that you would capture them as a lead is if they typed into that little contact me form I put on my landing page. If you choose this option, Facebook is just going to go for views. So you might have some that have 40,000 views. Facebook lead generation form, it's going for leads. So you're going to have a lot less views, but you're going to have more leads. So if you just want to get some exposure and you want to get in front of the eyes of as many people as possible, you might want to use this option. But if leads are what is important to you, always use the Facebook lead generation form. Your button call to action, there's only 3 options right now: learn more, sign up, and apply now. Usually only one is going to fit with your ad, and that one's usually learn more for me. Follow up destination URL. So you could put whatever you want in here. Whenever they click, this is where it's going to take them. Since I created that landing page, I'm going to choose landing page, and you'll see basically every page of my agent site that I have. I know mine's very redundant because I go through and create ones all the time. You could use. Since I created this 417 Regal Court landing page, I'm going to choose that one. But you could just use your agent site homepage, your download my app link, like your about me page. It really just depends on what kind of ad you're running. I'm going to do 417 Regal Court. I'm going to give it a second to think. Okay, so it has approved that. Now that is where they're going to be taken when they click learn more and they give me their information. Next up is ad targeting. So it has defaulted it 20 miles. This is a Fayetteville listing, so that's why the location is Fayetteville. I can toggle this on and use custom settings if I want. You do not have to do this. Most of the time, I don't mess with it. So you can change the location and then, so include people who match. You do have the option to do expert targeting is what they call it. You can add interests. Honestly, I don't see a difference when I use this versus when I don't. So most of the time I just choose not to. If you do want to play around with this, some ones I recommend, I used to always use like things like realtor.com, but I never use things like realtor.com Pro because I'm not trying to capture real estate agents as leads. Same thing with like Zillow. I use Zillow. I don't use Premier Agent, Zillow and Trulia. I believe homes.com is one I used to use. I search things like mortgage. So mortgage loans, mortgage broker, mortgage calculator, mortgage interest, reverse mortgage, anything that you think might target those who would actually be interested in the ad, basically. That is what this is geared towards. Don't think of it as it limiting who all sees the ad. Think of it as it narrowing down to those who would most likely be interested in the ad. If the house has a pool, search something like pool. Really, you can play around with this and just kind of target it towards some specific things in the house, or you can choose not to use it at all. You can also search things like finance, luxury. I believe that pulls up things like luxury vehicles, luxury property. So play around with that if you want, and then you can see like what the audience size is and a description of basically that interest. I'm going to leave mine as is and just kind of let Facebook roll with it and see what happens. So I'm going to save my Facebook ad. And now at this point, my ad is ready to go. So the next step is just deciding my budget. I would recommend kind of having an idea of that before you get to this step. But you do have total control over this. So its default is a 10-day campaign and a budget of $1 per channel per day. I don't really ever go with that. I run my ads for class purposes. I do them Monday and then I wrap them up. Is that right? Yeah, I wrap them up on Friday. So it gives me 4 full days and I just do $20. You can do as much as or as little as you want. I don't know that there's a default on how long your ad can run. I don't recommend running them for too long because then people, you know, they start to get sick of it. I just do 4 days. Different people swear by different things. I think Nick Baldwin does 5 days for $25. Play around with this. It does make a difference and you do have control over this. So if you have, you know, an idea in mind, just kind of tailor it. I would do them on weekends, but I'm not checking the front desk email on weekends. So those leads would basically go unanswered. That's really the only reason I do them Monday through Thursday. So I would definitely, you know, suggest if you're checking your email and you're on top of this and you're, you know, getting into command on the weekends, run them on the weekend. Just think about, you know, when you think people are most likely to be on Facebook. So I'm going to save duration and budget. And now at this point, everything is done. Let me make sure everything is spelled right. So I'm going to publish campaign. My card info is in here, so I'm going to hit create campaign. I'm going to let it wait. Hopefully all goes well. I feel like it's acting a little funny today. You might have any questions while it decides what it wants. Oh, okay. I do have a few more things to go over, but if you have any questions at this point and kind of just want to get them out, I'm open for that. Okay, well, at this point, so it is pending review. Keep in mind that these do have to go through Facebook's approval process. You cannot offend anybody. You cannot, you know, it doesn't like references to drugs or alcohol. Just kind of, you know, use your judgment. That's really all I have to say. There are rules. If you want to look through them, you can look through Facebook's ad rules. But just, you know, be smart about it. And especially the fact that it is going on your your business page. Let's think about that. When it is active, it will turn green and it will say active. All of these numbers will update in live time. So even though I gave it a $20 total, it does not take all $20 at once. A good example, so I have this ad. It was same thing, 4 days, $20. It just wasn't doing very well. And I stopped it when it had reached $8.69 spent. So Command will then take the remainder and basically put it in your account as a credit for your next ad. So, you know, if you're kind of scared of, you know, wasting $20, don't worry about that, because if it's not performing the way that you want it to perform and you're, you know, on day one of your 6-day ad, you don't have to keep let it going. If you want to ride it out and see what happens, sometimes I do that. That one was just like, we just need to quit this one. But, you know, you're not out $20 right off the bat for an ad that doesn't do anything. So this is your CPM. So this is what the ad would have, this is what you would have had to spend if your goal was just to get 1,000 views. So like this one, I would have only had to spend $16 and a penny. This one, I would have had to spend $37.59. So it really just depends on the ad. You can see that this Gates 4 one was one that I didn't use the Facebook lead generation form. And you can tell because I have 15,000 impressions and no leads. So 15,000 people saw it, but I didn't really get anything out of it. Your cost per click. So it just breaks it down by how much each click costs, cost per lead captured, and then your total spent. So I think my best to date was 65 cents a lead. So that one I ended up with 31 leads, and I think it was just a really cool property. I can always click on this and you can see what the past ads have looked like. So that was just a really cool house, I feel like. So that got a lot. But it's kind of fun to watch it update in live time, and then you can see your stats. If I ever want to see my lifetime, what I've gotten 36,000 impressions, and I've ended up with 156 leads, spending $359 total. So that's really about it. Once it goes active, I can kind of check on it. My leads will come in. They do come in through Command. So like my little, I get emails through Facebook too. They'll let me know, hey, you have a new lead, but they will show up in my alert. So when I have a red mark in my bell, like now, I can click on it. It will say new lead captured. And if I click on that, it will take me to their information. Also the cool thing, so like this one that I had 19 leads on, I can click on that and I can see all of my leads from that one ad. And then from here, I could add them all to a smart plan. I could add a tag to them. I could delete them. But if, you know, this is a really good way to just add them all to a smart plan and keep in contact with them. So are there any questions?